Let me just double check. Yes, he finished his military in May of 2021. And that's when he joined the Kwangdong Freaks. That's when he was competing in WTL. And then he did retire for some time, or he did like take a break, and then he came back this week. Came back this week after a long hiatus. It's great to see him back in. Here we go, spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn. We have our South Korean Terran player living in the land of Japan, representing Team Hyper 1. It is HonMonO. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran representing Team Little Fairy. It is KeeN. Let's go. Let us go. The TvT is upon us. And I've casted these two face-off before. Fun fact, I think HonMonO, I remember that there was a replay redeemed where we casted KeeN versus HonMonO. This was what? This would have been 2021. This would have been when KeeN first returned after his military service. And KeeN cheesed the hell out of HonMonO. He cheesed the hell out of him. And I remember that we had this narrative going on that this was the origin story of HonMonO. That HonMonO was trying to play standard, he was trying to play macro, and KeeN cheesed the hell out of him. And ever since then, HonMonO's been an animal. He's been he's been scarred for life. He's been an absolute animal here in StarCraft. And what I mean by that, if you're maybe unfamiliar, HonMonO is very aggressive and very all-in against Protoss specifically, to be fair. Against Protoss players, he's always going for 1 base or 2 base all-ins, non-stop aggression against Protoss. Against Zerg, HonMonO plays a lot of macro nowadays. He can play mech, he can play like this really turtly mech style, or play very bio-heavy. Against Terran, he's a lot more standard. He's a lot more standard, he's a lot more up and up here against Terran. So I'm excited for this rematch after so long. So long as HonMonO does get across the map with that Reaper. Meanwhile, KeeN is lying in wait, does get some first shots off, and HonMonO has to retreat. To calm things down, again, it was a rack expand here from KeeN. Likewise, HonMonO going for a double gas opener instead. So HonMonO with the double gas opener is going for something more aggressive. He's reactoring out Reapers, going for Hellion production as well. He's amassing an army. Meanwhile, KeeN is working towards his own army as well, but did prioritize the CC instead. So HonMonO will have the army advantage, and we'll see if he can make use of that. We'll see if he can punish KeeN or try to hinder his economy in some way. Back at home, KeeN just now getting into his own reactor, opting to go for his own Cyclone, defensive Cyclone as well. We'll see if KeeN can hold, if KeeN can survive, because here comes HonMonO. Now it's going to be, what, 3, 4, 5 Reapers in total. It's going to be 5 Reapers and 3 Hellions from HonMonO's reinforcements are still coming from across the map. HonMonO pushing in a little bit premature here. He's going diving right on the army. Oh, he will not break through. Good concave here from KeeN. Good substepping as well. Does avoid most of those shots. Hellion goes down. Cyclone arrives. And KeeN shuts this down. Again, HonMonO pushing in before his wave of reinforcements. Did trade against the army, but HonMonO did lose a bit much. KeeN behind this, he's got his Cyclone, got his defensive setup. Marines are amassing, tank is on the way. KeeN is perfectly safe and sound. I say that HonMonO tries to go in once again, going through the Marines. Cyclone out of position, Marines go down. That wasn't a bad trade for HonMonO. Got a good chunk of Marines there. Behind this, getting to his own tank production, Vikings as well. Interesting that HonMonO, he's rushing into Viking production for air control. He's skipping Ravens for now. Whereas KeeN is going for a much more standard follow-up here, getting to his own Raven production, tanks. Third CC has been spotted, is delayed. Yeah, big scout here from HonMonO. Trading out and getting 3 more SCVs, almost 4. That's going to be 3 workers, a delayed third base, a scout of the third as well. And HonMonO is going to be pushing. Now, he's behind when it comes to his third base timing. the goal of this move out is not going to be to break KeeN. It's going to be to deny the third and get his own. You can see here HonMonO is getting his third base on location. He knows he's behind. He knows his third base is late in comparison to KeeN. But that's why we're pushing out. As we move out, ooh, the Reaper comes in. KeeN, he does delay the third CC. Big pick off there from KeeN. HonMonO moving out. Now, looking at the units tab here, HonMonO does have the tank advantage. He's got the Viking lead as well. But KeeN has Ravens. Oh, we're throwing down bunkers. That I was not expecting. Okay. Bunkers on the way. KeeN pulling the boys. Getting in position. Yeah, we're diving on the tanks. We throw down another wall. Auto charge are thrown down. We do focus on the Ravens. We managed to snipe both of them. But we get the tanks. Was this worth it? Looking at the trades here. Another tank getting picked up. Up. Yeah, HonMonO forced to land his Vikings. We'll lose every single Viking. And HonMonO's in trouble. He lost 2 tanks. He lost 5 Vikings. And he's losing his final tank. No. The tank. Get out of here. HonMonO barely trying to escape. But no, he will not get away. 3 tanks falling. 6 Vikings. That third CC is finally done, but here comes KeeN. KeeN with a massive supply lead. Remember, HonMonO, his goal here was just to delay the third, but he committed into a fight. He was forced into a fight, to be fair. HonMonO lost everything. HonMonO does have the Viking lead. There is still that going for him. Blaming KeeN for turning Hung macro into a degen. True. It was all his fault. Copium. Do you see HonMonO trying to break out again with that air control? He is trying to outrange KeeN. Trying to sneak up on him. Also, I'm looking up the date of that KeeN HonMonO game. Yo, this was a long time ago. But here we go. We do see the tanks. They do manage to pick off a couple of tanks here. Good positioning by HonMonO. Doesn't lose any of his own tanks. At the same time, KeeN coming in from behind, going for a Viking drop. Gets a couple of SCVs. But there's no escape. Yeah, there's no way out of this. He's going for the tank. Does get a tank. And can he get a second tank? It looks like he will not. The repairs are too good. HonMonO holding on. Behind this, KeeN, of course, taking his economic lead. He's on 69 SCVs. Nice. A solid worker count. HonMonO, he's stuck on 2 bases. But he is double expanding. Getting his 3rd base, his 4th CC, and even a 5th CC. Oh, this is a bit much. I'm not sure if we need that. As you can see, HonMonO, he's turning into HonMech, as Mech is on the horizon. 3 factories being set up. He's getting another CC. He's getting, what is this? We're on 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 CCs. Papi. We're like barely holding on. Oh my god. That's one way to spend our minerals. Okay. So HonMonO triple expanding, or at least attempting to, throwing down all these orbitals. Meanwhile, KeeN, what he lacks in bases, he makes up for in army. I mean, look at all these tanks. The Marine Stim is done. 1-1 is done. Combat shields as well. KeeN is pushing with a death ball of an army, and HonMonO, can he survive this? He's got a handful of tanks. He's got tanks, he has no support. What I mean by that, all these minerals that are spent on these CCs could have been like reactor Hellions, for example, and Hellions have their place here in mech just to buffer, just to support this army, to have something in between the bio and the tanks. As they're simming on forward, boys are being pulled, they have to be. And KeeN is breaking through. Shuts down 2 of those tanks, getting a 3rd. Up. Oh my god, the tank barely does survive. 13 SCVs fall. Yeah, we're just parked here on the 3rd. HonMonO trying to break out. Marines are being ambitious. We do manage to get a gas geyser. Get a couple of SCVs, 17 workers going down in total. Ooh, 18. And KeeN backs off. Now, what's important here is that because of HonMonO's playstyle, yes, he lost 18 workers, true. Did lose a lot of SCVs, but he has so many mules. So many mules available, and he can make so many SCVs at a time as well. Or 6 at a time. Did I say 6? 7 at a time. That's a 7th orbital on the way. I mean, this one might be a planetary. Like, again, when HonMonO plays mech, whether it's against Zerg or even against Terran, we turtle up hard. You can see it's just tank, turret, liberator, planetary. We are walling up as hard as we can. But KeeN rocks up and there's not enough here in position. HonMonO, he's fortified at his 3rd, but his natural is exposed. KeeN dropping into the main base. He finds a way in. We do have a couple of tanks, but again, they're being focused down. And we're just pulling HonMonO apart. Diving into that main base. Getting 18 more SCVs. We deny the main. We camp the production. And at the same time, KeeN moving out with the rest of his force once again towards a 3rd. And HonMonO not quite ready for this. I mean, he's got a concave of tanks, true. KeeN looking for another way in. Dust him forward. Gets 1 tank, gets a 2nd. Then we get a 3rd. And 2, 3 tanks go down. Just 3. Not quite able to drop in. Now again, the win condition for HonMonO is to just stabilize. It's to somehow just turtle up, stabilize here on these 3 bases. And eventually take a 4th. But KeeN's doing a great job here at picking off those tanks. Making sure the tank count stays low. Hasn't doing a great job. 3 3s on the way, plus 2 vehicle weapons as well. HonMonO has 0 upgrades. Yeah, we stim in once again. We get 2, we get 3, we get 4 more tanks. KeeN has to be careful though. I mean, again, this tank count is getting high. That's a lot of tanks. Oh, massive volleys go off. KeeN overextends. When it comes to the army supplies here, they're actually quite even. Or quite close. Army supplies are quite close. HonMonO does have a more efficient army. True. Again, he's been pumping out 3 tanks at a time. Vikings as well. And, I mean, HonMonO, he's hoping that KeeN does overextend. Also, I was curious if this space was going to be a planetary. No, we're expanding. It's going to be the 4th. Another CC on the way in the main. Let's go. Oh, the orbitals. Meanwhile, KeeN is taking his own half of the map. Like, to be fair, he's on 81 workers. And that's a kill in the 4th CC. Big pickup. Again, KeeN doing a great job here at least containing HonMonO. But he needs to do more than just contain, especially against a mech-based army like this. You see KeeN coming in from every single angle, trying to go for a surround. And flanking on these tanks, shuts down the Liberators as well. Big engage here from KeeN. Gets almost every single tank. GG gets called, KeeN breaks through, and KeeN takes game number 1. GG. Oh, GG, well played. KeeN does take it here in the end. Again, HonMonO trying to turtle, trying to stabilize, trying to hunker down, and in HonMonO fashion as well, but was not able to. KeeN just always pushing in, able to take down 2, 3, 4 tanks at a time, make sure that HonMonO was not able to snowball out of control, and was able to take the first game in the end. Congratulations. Whew. And I was actually just quickly checking that replay that we casted from HonMonO and KeeN. When was this? HonMonO versus KeeN. What map was this on? Was this on Hard Lead? No, sorry, not Hard Lead. Hard Wire. Jesus. What map pool was Hard Wire in? Hard. Un momento here. GLH. Hardwire. Was this 2021? Hardwire. Wikipedia. This was. Yes, this was end of 2021. Yeah, I remember this. It was like October, November. Was when the replay, or was when we casted that game. So yeah, this was when KeeN came back from the military. Is lined up. Is lined up with that. Now, many years later, the rematch. Let's go. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Alkione, we have the Red Terran player representing Team Hyper 1. Down to the series, can he bounce back? It is HonMonO. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player leading the series 1-0, returning from his break. He's back after a long hiatus here in Sparkling Tuna Cup. It is KeeN for Little Fairy. Here we go. But yeah, HonMonO versus KeeN. This was a... How long was this game? It was a... Oh, no. So for some context, what I'm referring to, again, way back when we casted HonMonO versus KeeN a long time ago, it was like a 2-minute 38 long game where KeeN like cheesed the hell out of HonMonO. Long time ago. Good times. But now we're back. Once again, it's going to be a double gas opener here from HonMonO. This time, KeeN is reciprocating, going for a double gas opener as well. With this, we're going for faster factories. We're going for a faster factory into a delayed command center. So a bit of a safer build here from KeeN compared to the previous game. As we are settling into game number 2. Just catching up with the chat. Hi all, is this live? This is live. I mean, I say live, it's a 2-minute delay. 2-minute delay on stream. Outside of that, yes, it is live. Casting these games as they come to us. Villain origin story, exactly. It was. It was his villain origin story. It is how HonMonO became the Joker. He beat Oliveira in a series like 3 weeks ago in KSL. Was shocking. Yeah, exactly. I remember that as well. That was pre EPT Asia Regionals, if I remember correctly. That was like just before that occurred as well. Hon mech refusing to make any amount of Hellbats. That's true. I mean, again, it was a very specific style of mech, just pure tank Viking lib. He's an animal, Poppy, as we do end up delaying the CC. Good pick off here by HonMonO. Behind this, getting into a 1-1-1 setup, going for interesting reactored Cyclones. This is a little bit old school. We haven't seen too much reactored Cyclone play in TvT in quite some time. KeeN back at home, going into reactored Marine production, going for an initial drop. Going for an initial drop himself, but he's going to be running into Mass Cyclone back across the map. Oh boy. Here we go. These new 1v1 maps are so weird. A lot of them are a little bit weird. I say weird. A lot of the new 1v1 maps have a lot of unique features. Like even this one, for example, has these central goal bases, has an entire portion of the map that's cut off by these minerals. You can mine through the minerals, you can expand, and because of that, a map like this, like Alkione, can lead to a lot of late game play. because you can take a secure third because of the ramp, take a secure fourth base as well because it's awkward to push in, and even take the gold as a fifth. And go for the late game. But we'll see. We'll see if we can go that far. As KeeN is coming in with his drop, HonMonO lying in wait on the right hand side, looking for a drop. He does miss it though. No, HonMonO does miss the drop. We do slip in. But at the same time, the Cyclone surround. Oh, not quite able to collapse on this. Yeah, KeeN going for the add-ons, does get the reactor. Almost does get a Cyclone as well, but he's barely not breaking through. Yeah, KeeN is going to have to retreat. And HonMonO now out of position, no longer here waiting for the drop. KeeN will escape. Will boost away. Behind this, HonMonO going for his third TC. Likewise, so is KeeN at pretty similar timings. Both rushing into our thirds. KeeN has to be careful. Good lock-ons here with the Cyclones. We do pick off almost a Raven. They get a lot of hull damage. KeeN reinforcing with his drop, coming in. That's a lot of Cyclones, but this choke point is brutal. Yeah, the choke point is brutal, and HonMonO, he has to back off. He has to respect that tank. Does retreat. Now remember, last game HonMonO did play mech, but there's no guarantee that he has to embrace mech again. He might, but could still dabble in the bio. You can see HonMonO trying to dance with the army, still avoiding those tanks. Tank does siege, HonMonO has to retreat. Does have to pull back. As we are still continuing Cyclone production, by the way. How many are we up to? 8, soon to be 10. Again, this style from HonMonO was very popular like a year ago, or I say like a year ago, like 6 months ago in the last patch. Before the change to the Cyclones, this was the meta. Nowadays, not so much. And there it is, a second factory, it's mech. HonMonO is going mass Cyclone. Oh boy. And he bypasses the main army. He skirts around, heads towards the natural. What is there at home to defend? There's no bunker, there's one tank on the high ground. We catch a Raven! Big catch here from HonMonO. Gets the Raven, busts into the main base. There is no wall. The wall is not a wall. Auto charge being thrown down. The disable on the tank. And so many SCVs going to be falling at the same time. KeeN going for a base trade. It's the only option. It's all we can do. Going for a straight up base trade. What do we have on the high ground? We have Cyclones. The Ravens. Ooh, one Raven goes down. The other barely does survive. And meanwhile, across the map, that's going to be 34 SCVs falling. We camp the production. Tank pumps out. Tank does pop, but it goes down as well. As HonMonO even muling down just to repair. Not exactly a mule like a mana mule, as he's repairing his Cyclones, stopping them up. Meanwhile, across the map, KeeN also came to the production. HonMonO amassing a lid. Cyclones, we get the disable. A big disable here by KeeN. Barely does break that Liberator. I say that, the Liberator's still alive. We need to focus it down. Also, that was a misclick, by the way. HonMonO with the anti-armor on his own army. Meanwhile, across the map, HonMonO does break the production. Okay, there's barely anything left here for KeeN. Getting on top of the main base. Likewise, HonMonO, there's no way out. Uh-oh. And KeeN, he's got an SCV. He has an SCV out on the map just in case. As HonMonO, he needs to float away. KeeN, meanwhile, pushing towards that low ground. Sorry, HonMonO pushing towards the low ground. Getting my Terrans mixed up. KeeN also trying to float away. HonMonO, ooh, his orbital is on fire. He can mule to repair. Does have money to repair as well. There we go, Cyclones to push in. Shut down the Cyclone. Or we shut down the Liberator, get on top of the tanks. 2 tanks go down, but we lose almost every Cyclone. 1 Cyclone survives. Oh, chasing down these CCs. KeeN, he does escape with 1. He escapes with 1 orbital, and he has a Rax towards the top left. Looking at the unit stat, okay, in a head-on fight, HonMonO has 5 Cyclones and 4 Ravens. I think he wins head on. HonMonO, I think he does have this. He's up in army supply. He's got plenty of energy to work with as well. Plenty of energy. Yeah, bunker. It's going to be killed, not cancelled. SCVs are cleaned up. KeeN has to get the hell out of there. KeeN is making Marines. Meanwhile, HonMonO, he's back to mining. Oh, we get the disable, but we do escape. This is a little bit scary. HonMonO is spending a lot of his energy. A lot of his energy is being spent. You can see HonMonO is still looking for more bases. He scans, he's looking for the CC, and he will find it. Big catch here from HonMonO. The final base of KeeN, it's gonna go down. There's no saving it. Oh, the Raven! The Raven goes down as well. The base falls at the same time. KeeN harassing the mineral line. Amassing Marines and Marauders. How many Marines and Marauders do we have? 3 Marines. Is that going to be enough? We can see HonMonO racing on over. KeeN being revealed. Can we get the CC? Up! We cannot. The repairs. Whew. Repairs a little bit too good. Keep the base alive with muling. Getting good disables here on the army. We disable almost everything. And HonMonO, he has done it. GG gets called, and we are going to the ace match. GG. Oh my god. Bappy. GG, well played. Whew, HonMonO in the midst of that base trade was able to get the 1-up here on KeeN. Able to get so much more done with his army and retain most of his units as well. His Cyclones and his Ravens, more importantly. We saw that he was able to make great use of his disables, of his auto turrets as well. The Ravens, they came in clutch. And with that, we're going to the ace match. We're going to game 3. Here we go. Oh my god. We're going all the way to game number 3 here. How does this story end? It ends on Site Delta. Going all the way to the ace match, and here we go. In the bottom right hand corner of Site Delta, we have our South Korean Terran player tying up the series 1-1 that last game, forcing the ace match. Representing Team Hyper 1, it is HonMonO. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player himself, the blue Terran, representing Team Little Fairy. It is KeeN. Here we go. Again, KeeN, once again, working his way up that ladder. Did recently return from a hiatus. Did recently come back to competitive play. And he's still finding his footing here. And I mean, he's been looking strong here this tournament, but against HonMonO, forced into game 3. I mean, to be fair, it was a base trade. Like, it was a very chaotic situation. A very chaotic game, where HonMonO was able to initiate the base trade first, if you remember. HonMonO was the first to bust into the natural, force the reaction out of KeeN. HonMonO was that much faster. Likewise, HonMonO also was able to retain his main base a little bit longer as well to get some extra warp-ins or extra rounds of units. Was a wild game. And now we find ourselves in game 3. Double gas opener. Double gas opener out of KeeN, double gas opener out of HonMonO. Once again, we're rushing into a factory. Going to be delaying our CC. And you can call it a safe opener, you can call it an aggressive opener, either or. With this, we can get into faster Cyclone production. Now, something we have to bear in mind here is that HonMonO has played a variation of mech every game so far. In game 1, it was like a very pure style of mech, you know, just tank, Viking, lib. No Hellions, no Hellbats, no Cyclones, just tank, Viking, lib. No kind of finesse there at all in game 1. Game 2, HonMonO, he went Mass Cyclone Raven. Very interesting style, very mobile, of course. It was able to outposition KeeN at times and able to again initiate that base trade, able to outmaneuver him. Meanwhile, KeeN has been playing the same. It's been Biotank. Biotank game 1, Biotank game 2. I would say very solid composition, don't get me wrong, it's very standard as well. If a player is coming back, it makes sense to want to once again refine that style, but HonMonO gets across the map, does delay the CC. At the same time, KeeN also slips in. Again, trading one worker for one worker. That's a lot less mine time here from HonMonO. Big reaction, pulling so many boys. I'm not really feeling this is too worth it here. So many SCVs not even mining for HonMonO. And we get 3 SCVs. We're getting 4. The Hellion finally comes out. That is 4 worker kills here. Finally, the Reaper goes down. Meanwhile, across the map, KeeN only losing 2 workers, but his CC is delayed. That's the difference here. You can see how much production has really been, or the difference in production here in these CCs. HonMonO's is almost done. KeeN's is around halfway. So on the one hand, KeeN has the better economy. You can see here the economic graph go in favor of our blue Terran player because of so much lost mine time. But the faster CC is going to make up for that. So a bit of a give and take. Meanwhile, with the reactor Reaper Hellion production here, we're moving out once again. HonMonO going up to 3 Reapers and 2 Hellions. Another way behind this. Pushing up the ramp, but again, KeeN has the high ground. Cyclone does fall, but KeeN holds. That was a nice pickoff though, getting the Cyclone. Will mean that KeeN is a little bit more vulnerable as HonMonO is reinforcing with 2 more Reapers and 1 more Hellion. We're pushing it again for a second wave. And this time there's no Cyclone. Uh-oh. HonMonO pushing in. Does push in, does shuffle his units around. Gets the Hellion. Ooh, bleeds out a Reaper. Bleeds out a second Reaper as well. Good target firing out of KeeN. But HonMonO, he has control of the low ground. Gets 2 SCVs, getting a 3rd worker as well. Before being cleaned up. 4 SCVs go down. HonMonO, he's up in workers. And we're getting into our biotank. Okay, now, on the one hand, yes, HonMonO is making Marines. True, he's making Marines, but this could still be mech. He's not investing. He's making Marines right now just to have an army. There's no investment into anything like Stim or a second Rax, not yet. KeeN building up his own biotank army as well. That HonMonO guy knows how to win. 3rd CC is the way here for HonMonO. Do love to see it. Meanwhile, here comes a push from KeeN. Looking at the armies, KeeN is up in tanks. He's up in Marines. And he has a Raven slipping in from behind, going for some auto harass. Going for the mineral line. We'll see what KeeN can get done. KeeN heads into the main base. There's a tank in position, a couple of Marines as well. And KeeN is going to back off. But now we're calming things down. KeeN now getting into Viking production, working towards Stim. HonMonO, Stim is on the... He's playing Bio for the first time this series. HonMech is no more, but did I speak too soon? Quick unsiege on the tank. Second tank on the high ground. Good maneuvering here from HonMonO. Very nice control. Very nice micro from our red Terran player. Yeah, and KeeN has to back off. KeeN was hoping to catch a tank, but he did not. So he has to retreat. And HonMonO maintains his position. 3rd TC soon to be on the way. 2 more Raxes, E-Bays as well. It's Biotank versus Biotank. HonMech is no more. I welcome HonMacro. Let's go. We'll see if Hon Macro turns into Hung Macro, Papi. Let's go. Let's go. I'm sure there's a lot of people that are watching right now that maybe don't watch much of HonMonO, and they're like, what are they calling him? What? I don't know his nicknames. This guy, I won't explain. Don't worry about it. Just know that sometimes he's hung. Sometimes. A lot of the time, actually. He looks impressive. But now though, but now that we're settling in, continued Viking production here at KeeN. Look at the units tab here. We have 6 Vikings to the 4 of HonMonO. HonMonO is slightly behind in said Viking counts, as yeah, he is missing a wave of production now because we're going to medevacs instead. So KeeN will have the air control. Likewise, he has the tank advantage as well, because he went into faster tank production. If you remember, HonMonO went and committed into more Hellions. So KeeN is pushing. HonMonO spots the armies, but the disables are too good. Yeah, we don't on siege in time. 2 tanks get caught out. The Marines go down as well. KeeN wedging himself in between the mains, or in between the natural and the third. And he takes down all the tanks. Will bleed out one of his own. The Vikings of KeeN, they do come out on top. Doesn't have enough to keep pushing though. HonMonO, he barely does hold on. Bikini still has the tank lead, 6 tanks to 3. And KeeN from here, he's happy with his trade, he backs off. I do like this. I do like this from KeeN. Again, he was able to pick off some key units, he was able to get some tanks, able to take down some Vikings. KeeN does retreat from there, getting his 4th base on location. HonMonO is still trying to stabilize, going for a Marine drop here. 1-1 finishing up in a couple of seconds. HonMonO does have the upgrade advantage over KeeN. But the turret, the tower does finish up in time. KeeN, he spots the drop. And that sensor tower was so close, was so clutch. See KeeN getting ready for a drop into the main. HonMonO, he just retreats, he backs off. Knows that he cannot break the defenses of KeeN. And now we're getting into a longer game. It's happening. HonMonO still no 4th CC. Staying on 3 bases. Loading up, going for that double drop in towards that main base. At the same time, he runs into some tanks. Oh, not the best trade from HonMonO. Takes a lot of tank shots to the face. Vikings are dragged out of position though. And it creates an opening. There is a turret. We push it. Oh, we don't quite commit. Even though we could have definitely. KeeN is pushing on the southern side. Moving out with everything he has. And what do we have? 8 tanks, 4 Vikings, 2 Ravens. The only advantage that HonMonO has is more Marines. But he's down in tanks, he's down in Vikings, down in Ravens. And HonMonO is out of position. Yeah, we cancel the 4th. And pushing into the 3rd. With the anti-armor missile. Anti-armor does go off. Tanks are sieging up, we get the disables off. It's going to be a lot of SCVs going down. 11 SCVs fall. And we're within range of the base. And what do? Do we lift? If we lift, we have the Vikings. Yeah, there's just no way out of this. The base goes down, and HonMonO, he's going for the base trade. It's all he can do. He leaves a couple of reinforcements back at home to defend, to buy some time. He's committing across the map. Ooh, good target firing at the KeeN. He does focus down the medevacs. Very nice target firing. The Marines, they dive into the 3rd base. We have the high ground. Tank is sieging behind this. At the same time, KeeN, he's breaking through. He will lose a base. Oh, that's 18 SCVs going down. We do catch a tank as well. But we're bleeding out too many Marines. Yeah, we're bleeding out too much. GG gets called as KeeN busts into the natural. And KeeN takes the series 2-1, advancing on to the semi-finals. GG. GG, well played. KeeN does take it in the end. A very tense series there, very back and forth. Great to see one of the old guard up against one of the young bloods of the Korean scene. KeeN did take down HonMonO, but HonMonO, he put up a fight. Did put up a fight here. Again, HonMonO is more of a younger face in the region, and yeah, did go up against one of the veterans in StarCraft 2. Went all the way to the ace match at least. GG, well played. Shout out to HonMonO. He does bow out here in the quarterfinals, but he bows out to a legendary player, and KeeN advances on to those semifinals, and we will be following him into said semis. Let's go. Let us go. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves.